Welcome to another League Night. Thank you everyone who has liked and subscribed. I am Christopher, and this is
Roy.
This week we're going to be talking about reveals, drafting, and what we are planning to get our hands on. All right, first off, let's dive into some reveals. I remember that the set is called Attack of the Vine, and we're attacking a vine in this set. Every set so far has had some sort of story, and for the past two, with Wintervale and the previous one, they've had some sort of thing with a vine popping up in this for a brand new storyline post Fable. So we are going to be going into what was added. I know that for you, Roy, something exciting was added, but not a new IP. The two new IPs that we saw was Monsters Inc. and what was the other one?
Turning Red.
Turning Red. Thank you.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Chris. Turning Red. I mean, come on.
I know.
It's in your heritage.
Right. Well, no red pandas here, but still interesting mechanics with the red pandas. And then what is the new thing that I know you are excited for?
I am excited for, well, this is what I'm unofficially calling a dungeon party poo. So that's what it is.
Sounds like something you need to clean up from the bottom of the dungeon. The Monster Inc. Doesn't seem to have any big significant mechanic-wise. We forgot Up. How did we forget Up?
Oh, yeah.
With the new location mechanics, that's going to be a very exciting location support. So from Sail the Azurite Sea, you might be able to get some red in there with being able to pull out your locations quickly. And then I think the most location stuff is green, if I remember correctly. The really good location is green. But if you only have one character there, you get to it gets 4 lore. That's not bad. But and then for Turning Red, my favorite part is the red panda switcheroo mechanic, where it's temporary shift.
Yeah, temporary shift is a very interesting mechanic to where basically it boils down to this, though. It's like your typical shift, though, but at the end of the turn, they return back to their previous form, though. And if I remember correctly, do they take off all their damage counters as well?
You know what? I am going to have to look a little bit more into it. Usually they say on there, so if it doesn't say take off the damage counters, you'll probably leave it on.
Uh-huh.
Reading the card, but it's a good way for someone has 1 damage and only has 1 willpower left, then you could still be able to get an extra trade in that you normally wouldn't be able to with it. So the shift might return back to hand, but the character may not might get banished. So I think if it keeps the mechanic, as long as the shift costs are low, which if I remember right, you can shift a 5/5 for 2 on a 2-cost character, or even 1-cost character. That's not bad. That's pretty good. So the last group was the honey, and the honey is going to be our Color in the Winds deck. It seems like every ink that you want into one deck.
There are many things I've actually learned about this deck throughout the last few weeks, though. So there are obviously limitations, though. But let's go over the pros of this deck archetype. Number 1, you only basically have to run 1 Christopher Robin, though, because at that CMC and at that ETB enter the battlefield, you probably just want to do that at least once, though. The primary reason why you keep that is to basically have honey characters from any ink variation whatsoever. So namely, you are playing like a weird version of Constructed with limited rules.
Mm-hmm. Is that going to be the number 1 card you're hoping to open this release?
It'll probably most likely be Christopher Robin, but the partner between, of course, the iconic duo of Pooh the Honey Wizard and the Sage Apprentice Piglet is probably going to be one that I'll probably yell a lot if I just pull it.
Nice. Well, hopefully one of us will be able to pull that. The other one, I guess it's not a new set, but a interesting mechanic that comes with it, and you see this in that deck, the Pooh and Piglet team up. It's a team up cards. We mentioned it a little bit last set, and I think I've seen 2 different implementations of it. One where you have to have both characters. This was the Mickey and Minnie team up, where you both have to have a Mickey and a Minnie out, and another one where you have to have one or the other character out to shift them. So what do you think of this this team up mechanic?
So team up mechanic, well, I hate to say it, it's a double-edged sword though, because on one hand you do have the flexibility on shifting on any one of those two characters if they happen to show up on the battlefield, but it limits you to two colors, which you're already probably doing anyways though. So I would say it's more of a half of a discrepancy against you when you're actually playing these team ups though. But these team ups are looking very powerful, and on top of everything else, there's a lot of deck archetypes that are most likely going to come out of this as far as like just shape building around that entire duo.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're not a family module team up because I mean that's just a classic team up. I think that's one of the ones that survived the rotation is or maybe they're all gone. So much stuff is rotating out. We'll talk about that, I guess,
Another
at
time.
another time. But the fact that we lost like Ink Geyser, a lot of really solid cards that gave a lot of interesting deck building restrictions, but they were really powerful cards. They added a lot of strength to being able to play things that normally, if Ink Geyser was blue and any other color, blue and red, that would have been a vicious deck because it would have given that deck a crazy amount of draw. So I'm very glad to see that we're seeing the return of deck building limitations and from these they're doing team ups. Hopefully they continue making powerful dueling cards. Can't forget the infamous Tramp, which has now rotated out. So, but that was the green yellow deck was just an absolute terror.
To be perfectly honest, I'm kind of glad that most of the dogs is rotating out though, because we need to see some fresh blood though. But my prediction is that toys will try to take up that spot personally in different other variations though. But I got a feeling there's going to be a more powerful archetype that's going to pop up rather than dogs though. What I'm sensing from what they're building.
So I know you're chasing down all the cards for your honey deck, but are you going to go for a aggro toys as well?
No, actually, I'm just going to state it outright though. I'm going to try to challenge myself in this new game and new format to strictly playing control decks right now.
Ooh.
So when you're building control into this core rotation coming up though, I came across a couple of guides and basically I'm gathering the cards little by little. I'm trying to see what I could actually see though, but the number one play set of cards that you have to get if you're playing control, whether if you're playing in the green blue color or the traditionals amber and blue or any other control variant whatsoever, is you got to get Cinderella. I mean, hands down, that is the turn point of every single control deck though, because you want to get the four, and then you want to start dropping princesses. If that becomes a subtype of your deck, or just simply have the ability to turn your uninkables into inkables and card draw at the same time. Way too powerful at the CMC.
Yeah, I mean, it's effectively card draw. It just ramps you and gives you such great resource advantage. And I know for blue red, sapphire, ruby, it's just going to give you like this incredible opportunity to leg up. Now that Sail the Azurite Sea's gone, Tipo's gone, you've lost most of your ramp. You're down to things like a couple of all that as well. There's a one that is from Frozen. What is Lost Will Be Found? I think it was called, where you get to draw, look at two cards, put one in your hand, put one in your inkwell, and you get to sing it. So
Oh yes.
yeah, yeah. That those are the I think going to be the only two remaining viable inks, viable ramp cards for blue. So I know for myself, I am looking to man. I'm I, I'm really like that Dale deck I've built. I have a couple of new cards that one legendary that I want to roll out the Dale deck. I've tried to build magical decks perpetually, and I have consistently failed at really hitting anything off with it. So this set has not dropped any amazing songs, which would really propel magical because I have a sing mechanic that's really good. I guess the only other deck I could probably build an aggro toy deck. I think red Christmas color toys would be really, really fun. Also, I could try and do that Max Goof deck again. At post rotation, there's a couple of draw cards, but I think the Max Goof will have a nice removal songs that I can sing in, and refresh the cards, the game state, and then it's a good control deck because you can also do the Prince Philip combo still, where you sing in the malicious, mean, and scary, and then drop down Prince Philip. So a couple of interesting things, but as far as the chases for collections, the number one thing I think I'm probably looking for is the new legendaries, Pocahontas and Miko. That one, I am really, really, really excited to put that in my Dale deck. That it shifts for 2. It's really small, and then being able to bounce things back into my hand so quickly, and then replay stuff. It allows me to heal up quickly with my Dale deck. So I think that it's just going to add a little bit of extra speed to that deck. That now that some things in there that were really strong have been rotated out, could really use. So it'd probably be that's one of the things that I'm just really interested. And the other one, of course, is the red pandas. Putting the red pandas to bounce that, I just don't know what deck to build around the red pandas is my current problem. But the mechanics of them are really, really fun.
Yeah, I got a feeling that, as previously mentioned in the last episode, I think what Raspberger does with these sets, they give you 80% of a concept though, and they give you the other 20 at the next set though. Like for instance,
Yeah.
blue bots might be getting a little bit stronger with these new bots, as I mentioned before. And not to mention, blue bots will be a little bit stronger since we're going to be getting that new Ward Hades as well, though.
Oh my, the new genie in purple. I almost forgot about that. That's
Yeah.
going to be an insane card. So genie on 4s is going to continue for another cycle.
So,
So what chases for money are you hoping to pull? So what are the big money chase cards, the most valuable cards you think that it's going to be?
well, you really can't tell, but it's just it's kind of up in the air because there's just so many of these iconics coming out with the team ups, though. Like every single
Yeah.
movie, if you think about it, is based on a duo that's basically just like going through, trials and tribulations, though. So, Lilo and Stitch and Belle and the Beast. But it just depends on what the cards do and how popular they'll probably get. But most likely, I'm gonna do a cold shot out here. I honestly think that the Rapunzel team up or the dual card though might actually be the one that might be chased out there as far as it goes. Art's beautiful. On top of everything else though, the deck that people are building behind it that I'm seeing behind the scenes though might actually become a popular archetype word.
Yeah. Oh, and there is a magical shift, family shift. It's blue. That's right. What the problem was? It's sapphire amber.
Oh,
I completely forgot, and that's why I was so upset about that. I can't believe that they made the Madrigal family instead of the amethyst amber that it was before. It's sapphire amber, which so you have to do the combat Madrigals, which I didn't think fit as well. So,
mm-mm.
but no, I agree. Like, so you sent me Chase Society, which has a lot of the cards that really will call out like, hey, these are probably the most going to be most valuable card and stuff like that. And they're estimating the Lilo and Stitch as going to be the card that's going to be worth anything. I have a feeling, believe it or not, Sully and Boo, there is a huge following for Monster Inc. Even though it's just an enchanted versus iconic, but people are going to be really, really, really going to want that just for in their collection. Woody and Buzz Lightyear probably is not as big of a one that's there, but yeah, I can see they have. God, the enchanteds are just incredible this set. The last set was pretty good, but like I think they really, really up the artwork this time around.
You know, I changed my mind though. I think Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse actually might be the one that's going to be the chase of this set though.
Historically, that's always been the chase. I know the
Yeah.
previous iconic Mickey and Minnie, that was, wow, up to $15,000. Like an aggressively high amount.
Yeah. They're the ones that started it all. So
Yep, absolutely. Any other places that you've been reviewing for what's coming out, and any other areas where you like to watch people review do their card reveals?
Uh, there's nothing off the top of my head though. Mainly just Reddit though. But I did find this Chase Society website on Reddit, and I've been following it ever since. They are pretty accurate. Their website design's excellent on top of everything else. So they're pretty accurate when stuff comes out.
Yeah, no, I'm getting Lorcana Goons is someone I've been watching, and I really enjoy watching how they would go through and saying like, oh, this is not just like, a good card, but it's also like as far as worth is Inkborn Heroes. Inkborn Heroes has a delightful stream where they have a great time going over the cards and have a lot of energy and fun to them. So they're my go-to for reveals. And they also have usually links or like references of like, oh, this is a person who revealed this card. So that can be fun if you want to actually watch the card reveal itself. Some people do a great job with it.
Nice. Hopefully someday we'll get a card reveal.
Well, I know one thing we're going to get revealed is how we're going to be doing on our drafts. For me personally, I love sealed events and drafts. I'm excited to get a event this weekend. What do you think of this set in terms of drafting? I think that this is actually a well balanced set, not very aggro focused. Last set was very more on the heavy end. The one drops pretty much didn't add anything. We actually have some interesting one drops that can do a thing or two, though I did love RC cards. I was able to sneak in several wins just by going heavy aggro with RC cards, but if that was more luck of matchups, if anyone had some twin out arrows or anything like that to do damage to those RC cars, that running them put me a little bit behind, but gave me a lot of early strength. So what about you? What type of set and what type of draft idea are you going for?
So as far as draft goes for this set though, I honestly think that if you have a well-balanced curve that basically tops off at either at 5 or 4, I think you should be in good shape though, considering the fact that if you have proper card draw as well too. Because as you know, you gotta have a certain amount of characters, you gotta have a certain amount of removal on top of everything else. So you gotta have a way to cycle it through though, so you just find those answers right away and drop everything as far as like it goes though. Great thing about this draft format right now is that there's no board wipes, to my knowledge.
There is removal, and possibly, arguably, the best removal in the game. We can talk about that in a moment. But yeah, you are correct. There's no large AoE removal with like a couple card combo. As far as draw, though, I find the draw of this draft very, very lacking. I think that this is probably weaker in that regard, and you're kind of more leaning on the curve that you have.
I agree.
So I guess for what we're going to do to win the game, are there any particular big bombs that you want to throw down on there that's going to really like put you ahead, and it's going to make it really hard for your opponent to fight back on?
Bombs go. I don't think there's anything that really has that big of an impact except for the vine. I'm looking forward to actually if I actually pull that to build a total vine deck theme behind it though to make sure that basically when that hits the board though, then that's it. I basically take over the game.
Fine's a pretty good one. The Hades with Ward. So let's go into the Red Moon Ritual.
Yeah.
That is, I think, one that's being underestimated in its power for sealed. Is Sing Together. So all you need is a 3 cost and 4 cost, and then you'll be able to remove any big threats that someone might want to drop down. There's, with the not as many 1 and 2s being a big concern and card draw being limited, being able just to turn a couple characters sideways to remove something scary, like a Kokum, or you can't remove that Hades, but maybe if you get a Posey down and you decide to go for the potato combo, that could be a big one. Maybe a Winfred, but again, also Ward. So yeah, I think that probably will be a core, first pick like that you have to keep is that Red Moon.
As a side note though, I actually discovered this card though, and it's pretty funny because it actually reminds me of you remember the Hearthstone card Big Game Hunter?
Yes, BGF. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a version of that in the set though. So it's Gaston, the 3, 4, 5 CMC that takes care of anything that has a 5 challenge or higher. So when
Yep, yep. But only can't target those with those. So that's going to be a because it's a target ability. Ward characters. One more reason why getting that Winfred or getting out the Hades is going to be really, really good.
oh yeah. No, I think you're right though. Hades is probably going to probably be the big bad, like literally of this set though, when it comes to draft and
Yeah.
limited formats.
Gaston is only a rare, so you might be able to get a one or two. To be two in the sets, but morph I think is going to be something that is going to be super important for if you get morphs, you play them all because it unlocks a lot of shift opportunities without having to have the smaller version. There was a morph on the previous set that was green. Let me just look up real quick how he's different from that morph.
I think he's
But what do you
currently,
think of morph?
yeah, Morph is great. Like Morph is actually built for this set though because it enables you if you happen to draw or actually just literally pick up any of those iconic duos though. That takes the place for any requirements that for you to bring out these big cards that change the game immensely. So this is the bomb heavy. This is definitely a bomb heavy like sort of format as far as if you happen to get one of those and you happen to get a morph in your pool done, you're probably in good shape to actually pull that off.
Yeah, I would only try to include no more than 6 bombs, unless like you can get some good 4 cost bombs. But I don't think there's any real 4 cost that's going to have that big of a change. Yeah, and this is interesting to me. So the emerald 2 drop morph, play any character with shift on this character as if this character had any name. I guess the difference is you can shift any character on top of this character. Uh, this includes all shift variants. I guess they changed the wording a little bit on this so that Posey the potato can shift on top of your morph, but otherwise it's interesting that they changed the color for morph and the stat line. Stat line, I think, smaller, but they changed the color for morph. Why do you think they may have done that?
I'm not sure. I'm trying to think of why they would color shift the character doing the same thing though. What was the previous color of the previous morph?
Emerald.
So it's emerald, and it's amethyst right now, right?
Yeah.
I think those two color combinations might be part of an archetype or anything for that matter. Or they're probably trying to make up for the fact that the other side of that archetype might need that morph for the iconic duos.
Hmm. Maybe they might have it the morph color for Winnie the Pooh. It'd be good for being able to shift honey stuff in
Yeah,
because because you can't include an emerald, but if there's going to be a Pooh character that a honey character that can shift, yeah, that'll give you a great target to shift onto without trying to include a lesser character that's going to be blurple
right,
for that deck. So
pretty much.
yeah. All right. Well, evasives. What do you think of the evasives of this set?
Few and far between though, but where it counts, it really doesn't count though. The all-star for me is Mushu. Like that's a snap pick, hands down.
Absolutely. There are few enough evasives where I see an evasive, I grab it.
Yeah,
I add it to my deck.
you
I mean,
must.
it's oh man, that's a tough one. Suppose you're doing draft and you see the red panda, red moon ritual, and an evasive. Which card would you pick?
It depends what. Okay, so in this scenario, this is probably like pack one, pick one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, pack one, pick one. To be perfectly honest, I don't see any of those cards willing whatsoever. So my priority would actually be within the characters itself, though. So I would give Mushu. I mean, removal is great, and it's like probably the best though. But Mushu's a bomb on its own though, because if you think about it, 3/2 evasive. Uh, Very few are going to challenge it though, so they literally have to use up one in their banished chosen character or like dealing direct damage to it in order to get rid of it though. And he just draws you cards. Like if you're playing like a hyper aggressive deck though, he charges you up basically. at that point.
And the fact that he's only a 3 cost lets him come down early enough. Since there's so little direct damage, more of it's like, heavy removal.
Mhm.
I think that, I think Mushu is the best card to probably draft. So, all right, you heard our pick. Mushu, number 1 card to draft. I mean, minus for collections. If you get a Enchanted Poo, you always got to take the Enchanted Poo.
Oh yeah.
Well then, where you planning on going, and what are you looking to get this set?
As far as like this set goes, though, I hopefully get pieces of the any archetype for honey though, because I do want to actually play around with that archetype a bit though. It's I'll be honest though, I think the deck is probably at 65 to 70% as far as like being a complete deck though. It does have you do have removal, you do have your characters, and you do have your things though, but it feels like it's missing like something really, really essential to make it go through though. I think it's card draw. That's the issue.
I know why, because the quest is coming out next release,
Mhm.
so they're holding back.
Okay.
And when the starter box comes out with the next set, it was like, okay, well, this makes sense now for this deck because it's the hero deck. They're probably really trying to balance out the mechanic of being able to include any card with being able to say like, oh yeah, no, we want, there are some things that make sense for a role playing game, and since the everyone's saying that how the new Lumineer quest is going to be like this role playing game type thing, I bet you'll find, oh, these are the missing pieces. Of course, the tough thing is, well, people have much better tools in their tool chest in order to kind of overwhelm it. I think that Honey can work as an aggro deck, as we talked about last time,
Mhm.
with second star to the right.
Yeah.
You'll be able to, really draw up. I think there's a singer or two in there, that the rabbit or something that can help you.
Oh, that's Rue.
Uh, Rue, yeah, Rue.
No, no,
That'll help you.
Rue's the kid. Kanga's the bard.
Right, right. Kanga, that'll help you drop it early and gives a place for Kanga. Yeah, no, I think that there's still a place. I mean, purple is such a good aggro color, anyways. And with the post rotation, you'll have the opportunity to play around with a few things and not quite face the deck that can do everything and beat everyone. For myself, I know I'm getting 2 boxes this time. I'll slowly open them over time, but I'm going to immediately start off, get a 1 box, open it. That's going to be my starting ones, and then I'm going to 2 sealed events, and hoping that get an extra pack. They're going to have face painting at one of the sealed events. It's going to be great. It's on Sunday.
Yeah. I still haven't checked on Sunday though. I don't think I'll be able to make that one though. But maybe
Yeah,
I don't know. As time goes by though, I get more time. I should be able to make time for more of these events though. But the number
yeah.
one
But
thing,
we'll be going Friday, and Friday's going to be a lot of fun.
yeah.
We'll get to play with a lot of very, very good players. And have you looked at the pre-release box?
Which box are you talking about? The sealed box?
Yeah, the one specifically just for playing with sealed.
Oh, I did take a look at it. I mean, it's pretty decent though. But as far as like getting pulls and everything like that, the promos look nice though.
Yeah. I'm excited about the promos. Gonna have 6 packs, have dice. So, are you looking to get any other products other than the a booster box or anything else?
I'm looking to get. I already got a booster box already though, but if possible, if I could get a booster box at a reasonable rate, and I'm most definitely going to pick up a trove if they have one available at the pre-release, like they always do. They should have it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think the troves are sold out yet. 8 packs. I haven't ordered a trove yet. The dice are going to be coming with the pre-release box. I have so many trove boxes. I don't think we're gonna, not enough places to store all the troves. So rather just put all the cards in binders and all these storage boxes. So I don't know if I'm going to hold on to those forever, but I know that I'm really excited in getting the different colored dice because they're just fun to add to that collection.
Yeah, those go in my Crown Royal bag all the time. So I always keep a collection of dice.
So when you are going to be drafting and building your deck, 40 card deck to play other people, what type of things do you like to keep in mind? What do you want to, think about as far as, I mean, it's so hard to kind of automatically choose, hey, I know exactly what I'm going to build because you're getting random cards, but What are you hoping to kind of lean towards?
I hope my curve is evenly distributed, but on top of everything else, though, make sure my inkables and non-inkables are actually balanced, though. So I think
What
it
is your rule for uninkables?
draft. I think at maximum you should probably have 8 uninkables at the very most. But I like to shoot between the sweet spot of 6 uninkables inside there, though, so that way I don't get caught up, unless there's something else. They,
I always love to keep it down to 6 because that way I can never have a full hand of uninkables. Never going to happen to me. I'll have at least one thing to ink that turn, and every turn I'll have one thing to ink until I can play those uninkables in my hand, which statistically speaking should be impossible if I mulligan away. In fact, that's another good element. No more than 7 because then I can mulligan away at least 6 of those uninkables, and I'll know I'll get 6 cards that I'll be able to ink there. So yeah, I never want to expect more than 6, and because I would also hate that if I mulligan, a bunch of high cost cards, and then I draw all in inkables, and my hand is now completely unplayable because I only have an inkables. That would be a bummer too. So
yeah,
yeah, I think 6 is going to be my limit.
okay. Well, 6 seems like a good number, though, but you have to keep in mind that you have to keep a proper curve, though, especially with dealing with the 40 card deck, though. Less cards meaning less frequency, so you probably don't wanna stack too much on the lower end, though, and probably keep it solid about 3 or 4 drops, though, and hopefully you have a couple bombs you could drop.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Are you looking to hopefully get out any combos that might be really, really interesting that people won't necessarily be expecting?
No, not this time around, though. I just wanna play big cards, though, and shift them into, like, bigger iconic duels, so I just wanna see how they work and interact with the battlefield and see how show-stopping they are.
My hope is to get some of the Floodborne synergy. Before, all the Floodborne cards were shift cards. You when you shift onto something, there were Floodborns, but I guess they've kind of changed it to all the Floodborne cards are ones that are created are bindlings this set. So none of the shift cards, as far as I remember, are Floodborn. So, but yeah, I'm hoping that like if I get at least 6, 7 Floodborn cards, then I'll be able to run that synergy in my deck. Have you seen the Madam Mim Hummingbird?
Yeah.
So if you get the Madam Mim Hummingbird, would you increase your uninkable count?
I don't know. I don't think it's that powerful enough to build around it like that.
So Madam Mim Hummingbird is an evasive character, 1/1 that costs 2, and she did the same thing that the old Lorecaster did, which means that you could ink any card even if it's uninkable. Treat all cards as if they are inkable. So that is, for me, actually, I probably would bump up to 8. If I had a Madam Mim Hummingbird, if I had 2, I'd definitely feel comfortable bumping up to 8. I mean, I'd have to
Yeah.
have really good cards to bump up to 8, and
Right.
I think Merlin is my only must include uninkable. What about for yourself?
Uh, if I was to run Mim, I think I would go to similar route and actually add more unequables, though. But I don't think building a deck around her for the fact that she's evasive and she has that ability is powerful enough, though. I like to play cards that either draw you more cards or basically, when it comes into play, changes the whole game state, board state, as far as it goes.
Yeah, yeah. Are there any sets? Well, actually, we haven't talked about yet. The fact that this is rotation. What are you sad it is rotating out?
Nothing really, because everything else has been kicking my butt lately. So I'm looking for like a fresh start, and I want to figure out ways to actually learn and play control and update that. Though, on that note, I honestly think like the sapphire, not the sapphire, the green blue control deck with Clarabelle, that's rotating out that section, and a couple of ink geysers here and there though. But I'm gonna see if I could actually try to find a way to put Mushu in there.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm really sad that they're rotating out a lot of the magical stuff because we're finally getting enough magical things in order that with the old magical stuff and some of the new things, you could actually build a bit more interesting of a magical deck. But with some of the older cards and a lot of the songs, sadly, we just don't have that power there anymore, where I don't think that a purple amber singing magical deck is going to be viable. As far as the blue purple, it is nice that the singing magical stuff has rotated out, so you can try to be more aggro focused. And I know that Fable reprinted a good chunk of magical cards, but still hoping for a little bit more in terms of the magical synergy to be kept around. Kind of wish that they would have reprinted a bit more of the Duel Links too.
Mm.
There is no reprint on this set, which is nice and all, but would have been kind of good to be able to refresh with some of my collection, some of the new stuff.
That's what Infinity's for. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And always hold on to these cards, and you never know, next set or the set after you might return. I love that card, and be able to play those cards that weren't able to, that was only in Infinity as well. Yzma has there's some Emperor's New Groove cards that have started going red. Before Green Amethyst was the Emperor's New Groove, and now that Pull the Lover Kronk is rotated out, which is hilariously great card.
yeah.
They are no longer available for a lot of decks, and I don't think you can do. I can't think of a single deck that's currently available that will be able to be able to do the a single story. So I guess Winnie the Pooh is close to that deck.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning more into the fact that if the honey deck actually becomes competitive, though, it might become an interesting thing as far as like deck building mechanics. But I don't think it's actually ready for competitiveness right now because the only play that I see devastating coming from the pool of cards that we have so far is turn one Rue and turn two Owl, though, and that puts you way ahead as far as everything
Yeah.
goes, though. And they basically have to remove those guys. Like a 1/1 evasive ward Rue, that's very powerful
Yeah, no, it really
as a
is.
starting point.
Great for an aggro deck, telling you.
I know.
Well, I guess now we just have to wait till the end of the week so we can play. And next week we'll be talking about what we've opened and what decks we'll be building. I'm looking up every draw card on Dreamborn.inc.
I know. I'm just going crazy looking for like removal and all this stuff and scrambling. I was like, okay, why don't I just enter this whole competition? It's just empty mind like I always do, so I don't stress out. There were times like on the competitive circuit, I remember that I used to you lose sleep. Like I wouldn't go to sleep the night before though, and it would totally screw me though. I would like 0-3 drop. I'm like, oh, why did I do that?
I'm always much more casual, so I never worry about it.
But it gets really intense though. When I was watching those like championships going through, I'm like, these guys have the same intensity like as a Magic championship though, but it's like for Lorcana, it's the funniest thing in the world to me though. Because it's like they're doing all these combos, and I'm like, my God, this is not what it's supposed to be. But it's like, all right, I get it. It's a high competitive stuff, and people are just going
Yep.
crazy over it, which is great for the game. That's that's what you got to get people excited about as far as like playing the game itself, though. You got to aspire other people to be just as good, if not, on that skill level.
Yeah. I'm surprised that the how much of it is of this of product is sold out. Like I think the Pixel Haven sold out in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, that's a good sign.
Yeah, I think it is too. We don't want product just to be sitting around in stores. The more that they can move it, the more encouragement. Question: Pam thinks that they aren't printing enough product, and that's the reason why it's happening.
Yeah, that's the number one reason why, because they didn't anticipate this to blowing up at this certain point. Pam is correct,
Yeah.
but I
Okay.
think they're gonna check their print runs and probably increase them though as the game grows though, because they're doing everything to scale as far as I know. And if I know,
Drilling it. Yeah.
yeah, I've been watching these Neanderthals, so-called Pokemon scalpers. They're bleeding into our hobby though, and I really don't like that.
If it encourages, you know, healthier and bigger releases, I'm about it. Even for those, like, it'll keep the single market nice and healthy, because you know what, they're going to sell back those singles, especially if there's rares, and I think this is more of a single focused game, so
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that too.
I'm not too bothered.
Yeah, I wasn't too, and I understand why they're doing the collector boosters thing though, because they want to actually separate those two markets.
Yeah. I'm not bothered by that.
No,
You played this character.
I think the reason why people freak out over collectors boosters is because they saw what it did to actually Match the Gathering though, which basically almost basically destroyed the game.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking horrible, man. I'm like, oh, what are you guys doing? It's like you're selling these things, and it's like, and then freaking Spider-Man was a total disaster. I'm like, oh
Think the Marvel one's going to be better?
no,
With the Fantastic Four? No.
they already got their first controversy though. There's literally like an artifact that's on there that's destroying vintage Magic. People that are playing with boxes. Because this card is so powerful because it gets turned on by other artifacts. And if you play them for free, then you get to play this card on like turn 0 or turn 1, and you basically destroy your opponent.
Oh my god. So basically Magic's turning into Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's worse than Yu-Gi-Oh. What are you talking about?
I mean, like, well, I guess Yu-Gi-Oh bans a bunch of cards, so
Yeah,
that keeps it in check.
exactly. But they have to ban cards. That's part of the culture.
Yeah. Anytime there's a card that says draw, it's banned in Yu-Gi-Oh. So it's for casual play only.
Okay. I'm gonna say this straight up though. Like before the internet, Magic was a perfect game. I'm just gonna have to say that though. With the onset of the internet and all this information, and now we got AI and stuff like that though. Stuff like that's gonna be intensified like crazy.
I still need to make that agent that'll be able to actually intelligently make decks, because holy smokes, right now
Claude
agents
sucks at making decks, man. Oh my gosh.
they don't understand the rules of Lorcana. So you have to, like, it has to do enough loops. So it's like, okay, what cards could fit? And I was like, oh wait, this is not the right card. Oh, this is a dueling card. So even though it has one of the colors, you can't choose both colors.
Exactly.
Give it the steps to do it. Man, I'm looking through all of the draw cards, and it is so sad.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we finished this session of League Night, let's open up a cold one. This week I have Wilds Unknown. And what do you have, Roy?
Wilds Unknown.
Awesome. I'll go ahead and open up first. That sweet smell of product. What did we get? Other than a very messy opening. I'm glad you can't see this. This is disgrace. All right. So for the first card, Lyle.
Tybris Rourke. Plunger Crossbow. Young MacGuffin. Sneezy.
Gesundheit.
Maribel Madrigal. Dolores. Goofy.
Oh, that's a good one. I like Goofy.
Firefire Slum. Pretty good removal.
Swarm.
Yeah. Pluto. Loud Tybris Rourke.
Oh, I can now shift that other one onto this.
Yeah.
And Merida.
Nice.
For the shiny of the day. Another layer. Whoa, what?
Double Rourke.
Double Rourke. All right.
Take a look at this here. Love it.
This pack theme is Atlantis. Isn't this from Journey to Atlantis?
Yeah. Okay. And here's my pack. Starting with
a Jingle Joe. Fat Cat. Sinclair. Mirage.
I always keep pulling her.
Sarah Bellum. Gosland. Shepherd's Journal. 3 arrows. Ooh, 3 arrows. That's a good one.
Nice.
That's really good.
Okay.
Kappa.
And
Pocahontas.
there you go.
Nice. The Traveler one.
Nice. Okay.
Ursula. Nice. A legendary.
Lovely. I love it. And
shiny of the day is a Plunger Crossbow.
Nice. It's a really good pack, actually.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Gotta do something with that Ursula. Poor unfortunate soul. All right. Thank you for joining us for another League Night. We are excited to open up our new set and hoping that we get another great Enchanted. This is Christopher.
And Roy.
We will see you next week.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.